so I can let people in the waiting room?
Yeah. I don't think I can do that. I'll just keep emitting all. I don't know once I do that. All right. So
Okay.
technical things we're working at. So we're at 38 people. I never would have thought we'd be at 38 people for this show.
Yeah, and go off of this, this idea came from the fact that, I mean, I know we all are at home and we're looking for things to do. And if you guys are anything like me, I miss sports dearly. And so what a better way to engage with people than try to talk about our favorite thing, which is sports. And we all have a different perspective. And so this is going to be great. So our hope is to continue to do this and do a weekly show. The phases may change week to week just because of other commitments, but we want to keep doing this while we're all at home. And so we have some time, even if it's just a half hour just to enjoy with each other, we'll keep doing that.
Yeah, and as we kind of go, we picked some topics for today. If anybody has recommendations for next week's show, please send those on. You can either put them in the chat, we'll record that, or you can always email me or Jason or anybody. Probably even just email info@Special Olympics Wisconsin and tell them how much you like the show and that all the sports staff should get raises for doing this. So. All right, so we're going to start with a couple things. And so the first topic that we thought we'd talk a little bit about is we're all kind of sheltering in place. So we're kind of stuck in our homes and some of us aren't able to work. But, we are focused, the mission of Special Olympics is focused around sports. And so we thought we'd start with a sport topic of when things kind of get back to normal. The NBA, the NHL, they were in mid-season or coming to the end of their season, getting ready for playoffs when this all kind of happened. And so we want to talk a little bit about if we think that, what would they do? Should they come back? Should they just end the season? I don't know. Jason, you're a big NHL guy. What do you think?
Yeah, and this is kind of a hard one for me because for those who know me, I'm a huge hockey guy, and I absolutely love the NHL. Like I can't get enough of it. But I guess I have a couple of points on that. My opinion is that the NHL should not return back. They're currently when they stopped, it was the day after the NBA pause, and they said it was a pause. It's no longer it's not ending. We're just taking a timeout, and we'll get back to it. And we're talking about that was mid-March, and so we're about a month after that's happened. So. My reasons why I think the NHL should not come back right now, there's really not a fair way to finish the season without actually finishing all 82 games. We have there were 7 teams that were within 3 games of a playoff spot. So that means that in a 31 team league, there's 23 teams that have a potential to make the playoffs. And so unless you let them all in, there's no way to fairly do that. There's a couple of options that people threw out as far as maybe going off of the percentage of wins based on where they are in the season, or to roll back to where everybody has the same amount of games, which is 68. But that puts some teams that are just outside in a really bad spot. The other part is that this may differ from the NBA, that those players just don't have training at home. Nobody has ice at home to do that. The NBA players, I bet you most of them, if not all of them, have a basketball hoop they can be training on. Well, there's no ice for people to be on for that.
Why can an NBA player have a basketball hoop, but a NHL person, they get paid less or what?
Well, yes, but also because ice is a lot more expensive than it is to, I mean, how many people outside of NBA players have basketball hoops at home? I mean, I'm sure there might be a couple on this call. So, yeah, but or there's a park nearby that has it, and with the weather it is, there's not ice out there for people to go out and do some of those things. So unless you have money to refrigerate something, I don't know if you're able to do that. I also think the other big thing for the NHL.
Stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
You tell me they can't leave their house and go to the training center?
No, they're not allowed unless they're coming back from injury. They're not allowed in the facilities.
That's not right.
So and a lot of them actually have gone back to their home countries too. So that's going to add some things where if America opens up and we're able to do some of these things, it may still be hard to get a lot of European players over, or people, even from Canada into to their homes, to their NHL home cities and be able to play. The other big thing, which I think is a huge difference between the NHL and the NBA, is that the NHL makes all their money from people coming to the games. And so I know a lot of the options are that we can start the league back up, and that we'll just have no fans in the stands for them, and we'll watch it on TV. Well, that works great for the NBA. It works great for the NFL. But the NHL makes all their money by people showing up. And if the NHL comes back, that means the NBA is back. And that means, I would assume, more people are watching the NBA than watching the NHL at that time, even if they're casual fans. Especially here in Milwaukee, where we have the Bucks. I mean, everybody's going to be watching them try to finish up that season as well. So the big debate from the NHL side of things is, do you finish the 2019-2020 season and then you sacrifice shortening the 2021 season? And my personal opinion is that we just, hey, let's call it quits now. Let's go through the off season and let's start back up in the fall. And even that where there's no fans there, at least we're starting a brand new season and we're not putting anybody at an unfair advantage.
Are they all getting paid? They have guaranteed contracts?
They're all getting paid for their stuff. The ones that's hard is that a lot of the NHL teams, and I think it's the same with the NBA teams, since they have not canceled the season, they're not paying some of the stadium workers until they know there's going to be no more games. And so really the people that are getting hurt are not the people being paid millions of dollars to play. That's the people who are waiting to help out at those games too. So.
Well, I think the NBA is a little different. As you said, they have the ability to practice. They're staying in shape at home. I do think that they should come back. They've got a very long year, so actually canceling the last part of the year is probably a good thing. I have kind of a crazy idea though for when they come back. Is I think they should just do a single elimination tournament, just like the NCAA tournament. Just put all 30 teams in there, seed them, right? You can still seed them, so the top seeds have a better chance. But you know what? One and done. Let's see who actually can do that. And I think people would do that. They may have to play in empty stadiums, but you know what? I think that's the best thing to do. And then because it's a long season for them too. They have to come back and get ready. I mean, they start, in late summer, and the season normally opens up in October, I guess. So I think they should come back, but do it in a limited format and just play a one and done for all the marbles. Jason, I can't hear you. Brittany, can you hear Jason?
No, I can't.
Where'd he go?
I don't know.
I lost my co-host.
Well, don't ask me anything. Just looking at the chat, it looks like Matthew agreed with Jason's point, and Becky likes your idea about the one-game elimination. She says it's like March Madness. That's right. I think that'd be really fun.
So while we're waiting for Jason, let's see here. Is Steve Woodard on somewhere? Anybody see Steve?
It was Kira, not Becky. Sorry. Nice idea, Kira.
Oh, there he is. Jason's getting ready to come back on. Gotta love technology.
Back. Can you hear me?
Back. What happened?
My phone hung up on me.
Oh, I thought you were bailing on me. My
yeah, nope. Take it from here, Don.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody said the show got much better after you left. All right. I was actually just checking to see for Steve Woodard. Anybody see Steve? Steve was going to join us today, and I don't see him on here. So we'll give him a little bit more time.
Don, do you see the question in the chat? Matthew asked, if they do that, what about next year?
Next year's a whole different matter. What I would actually think is they need to shorten they should just shorten the season to like maybe 60 games and then play an extended playoff. I think people get tired at the end of the year. I mean, I definitely think baseball should do that, but that's a whole nother topic. But for basketball, I mean, it's when you look at the travel and you look at they try to minimize the long trips for the coastal teams, but it's still a lot of travel. It's a lot on the body. And if you're playing in the playoffs and you make it like the Warriors, who are the best team in basketball, you know, they and nobody can deny that. Well, I guess they didn't win it last year, but they were there 5 years in a row. And the honesty of that is that if you play from the beginning of the year till the championships, I mean, that's a long time. You do that 5 years in a row. And we're going to talk a little bit about some basketball, but I think even with some of the greatest players, that takes a little bit of a toll on them. So yeah, shorten up the regular season. Let's have an expanded playoff and let everybody into that.
Don't NBA players take every other night off nowadays?
Yeah, they are getting pretty bad at that. I actually, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about. I mean, I do think that there's a for a while there was abuse of it, and then there's the whole thing with tanking. That's a whole nother thing, right? The draft, right? What are they going to do with the draft? I guess they'll just, if they eliminate the season, go right into the playoffs, they'll just kind of look at where people are at. So hopefully the Warriors get the #1 draft pick.
Well, and I just think that's the thing with both these. Both leagues play 82 games. They both play, you know, the 4 rounds of the playoffs, and so that's the other big thing with coming back for either of them is that you're going to shorten that off season, and it does take a toll on everybody. And then also, you know, there's free agency, there's drafts, there's everything that you need to put in line before you get going for the next season. Teams are going to look different. So it's just one of those things that I think, you know, like I said, that's why from an NHL perspective, I say we just need to cancel it and get going for next year. And from the NBA perspective, I agree with your idea of we need to shorten up that season to give some time for people to get back into the swing of things for knowing that 2020-21 season is going to be a completely different year.
Right. All right. I just got word that Steve is going to be joining us in a couple minutes. So maybe what we'll do, Jason, is just go on to the next topic and then bring Steve in when he gets here. Why don't you lead that one off? Yeah.
So one of those things now that we don't have any current sports to talk about, one thing that we have thought about bringing up is, and I'd be curious to what people share in the chat here as we get going on this, but it's our favorite sports moment. And I know that mine and Don may differ from a lot of yours. I don't think neither of us grew up as Wisconsin sports fans. So there's a lot of history that you guys have that we necessarily don't. So if you're talking about a game that I remember watching, and this is going to be a reference that probably not a whole lot of people are going to get. I'm a big hockey guy. I grew up in Minnesota. So back in 2014, there was in the Frozen Four, the Gophers were playing against North Dakota. North Dakota is a huge rival of the Minnesota Gophers. And the game ended in a crazy way. It ended up with a goal with less than 1 second to go. Which is really rare in hockey. You don't get buzzer beaters like you do in basketball. You basically, it's either in or you're going to overtime and it's sudden death. And they scored with 0.6 seconds left to go on to the national championship game. So it was great to go on the national championship game, but it was even better to watch them beat a rival that just continues to have success outside of that. So that was one of my personal favorite ones from what I've watched recently. You want to share one of yours, Don?
Yeah, I just want to ask, were you more in Minnesota, more of a Gopher hockey fan, right?
Yeah.
But what about football?
I'd go for football fan. There's Brittany with the big thumbs down there. Here we go. But outside of those two sports, I don't really cheer for the Gophers. It's just those two.
Yeah. I just wanted to remind you this. That's not my favorite.
Oh boy!
You know, hey.
Oh boy! That's an hour-long discussion in itself, right there.
Everybody told me to do that. I just had to do that. So no, actually, for me, I grew up in the Bay Area in California, and so my favorite teams growing up were the Raiders, they were the Oakland A's, and they were the Golden State Warriors. And so as a kid growing up, you always want to see your favorite team win a championship. And so I was a little too young for some of the early ones with the A's and with the Warriors. Hadn't won one for forever. So when the A's finally won the World Series in '89, I always joke that I don't remember what year I got married, but I remember that the A's won in 1989. So that was, for a long time, my favorite sports memory. But I think with the Warriors, I think that while I like the Oakland A's and the Golden State Warriors the best, this amount of suffering as a young kid for the Warriors and how many really, really bad years kind of, that they had to suffer through, it just kind of really made, that championship in 2015 was the best for me. I mean, that one was the best of the three because it really was a young team that got put together mostly through the draft. They kind of grew together, and I kind of got to watch them for a couple of years, make it, first round, exits and second round exits. And then to finally win it in 2015 was pretty special. And as you get older, it's like, you're not sure how many more of these things you're going to be able to experience, but that was pretty cool. The whole KD thing, I would admit, even I was getting a little tired of seeing them win all the time. But 2015 with that young group of when Curry was the MVP that year and they actually pulled it out, it was like one of those things where you're so used to them losing all the time. I was like, oh my God, these guys are just going to find a way to blow it again. But nope, sure enough, they came through. So that was pretty cool.
Well, with the teams I watch, I'll let you know when I get that moment. It hasn't been available for me. So I'll put you on the spot here. What about your favorite Special Olympics sports moment here? Since we're talking to a great cast of Special Olympic athletes.
Boy, I will tell you, there's been a lot of them actually. My favorite moment, I guess. When I was coaching back before I was employed by Special Olympics, coaching Tyler's team and playing in the tournaments, and there was a game where when he was a young guy and a lot of the other athletes were pretty young and they were just so tired. We played like a double overtime game, and it was like it wasn't even a championship game. It wasn't anything special, but it was just seeing how tired they were, like in double overtime, and still going out and giving it their all and playing their best. And then we ended up winning, which was great. But even the sportsmanship of the losing team afterwards, I mean, everybody was shaking hands. And I always remember the other coach, who still coaches, by the way, for Reedsburg, Dan Gasser, great guy. It just was so much fun to be part of that. And that really is what our athletes are all about, is just fighting hard. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but then it's a sportsmanship when it's all over. How about you?
That's great. Yeah, like I said, it's really hard. And I think I kind of automatically think to some of these national games just because now being on the staff side of things, there's not a whole lot of coaching we get to do. And that's kind of our time to be able to get into that. And so I think back to my first USA games that we went to New Jersey in 2014. I went as a powerlifting coach, which and it was able to go with 4 athletes. And the fun part about that is it's not the fact that how all of our athletes placed, and it was great because all 4 of them came home with the medal. But the best part was that people were coming out with personal bests. When we were doing warm-ups, the interactions with the other states and different athletes, different coaches, and just how, I think we got a lot of compliments about our Wisconsin athletes about not only how they lifted, but how do they present themselves, how do they interact with everybody. And then just on top of that, then you're part of the whole Team Wisconsin, the whole Team Wisconsin group. And so every single day getting to hear success stories and fun stories and what's going on at each of the venues, that was just a huge treat for me. And so to be able to share that as part of the coach and be able to see what the athletes are doing. That's from a coaching perspective, but I always enjoy, I think we're all in the same boat. Whenever we're able to get to a competition, whenever we're able to see people that we haven't seen for a while, those are the great memories that we get to make on some of those things. But the ones that kind of stand out are some of those unique experiences. And so that's where I kind of navigate towards 2014. And that's nothing against my soccer team from 2018, but the first time is always a fun time too.
Very good. All right, I'm going to try one more time. Is Steve Woodard on yet? Anybody see him on here? No? All right, well, if anybody in Special Olympics knows how things work.
Brittany's raising her hand.
Brittany's raising her hand? All right, let me find Brittany. Jason, can you, oh, there she is.
I just wanted to say, check the waiting room in case he's in there. If you haven't.
It doesn't look like anybody's in the waiting room anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know. All right, well, we are going to, we're going to change things up here, and I'm going to pick on somebody here. Oh, I saw a hand here. Mr. Pohl, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Still remember, Jason, right, it's the same thing happened at SUWM. 2 weeks ago, they canceled our spring UWM baseball season, same thing like the NBA athletics. Same thing happened like us, 2 weeks ago is cancel our spring baseball season at UW Milwaukee. Same thing happened like NBA the same week.
Yeah.
So Mike, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit here and tell everybody who you are that doesn't know you.
I'm Michael Paul from Northbone, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I went to the World Game 2005 for basketball and 95 World Game for tennis. And I'm from Wisconsin's best Olympics, Milwaukee.
And you're one of the few athletes that have a bobblehead.
Yeah, I have my own bobblehead now. It's from Milwaukee. It's great. I have my own bobblehead now. My mom bring over to everybody.
Yeah, there it is.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I got my own bobblehead now. It's unbelievable. Doing well. Then my other friends are making a new bobblehead now. We're making a new one of the guy with the glasses. So Dr. Moss's bobblehead now. We're making that one too. It's doing great.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm going to pick on one more here.
It looks like actually Matthew Harrell has a question for the group.
Okay.
He wants to say it out loud. So
all right, let me find
Matthew.
Him. Just give me a minute here. Oh, there we go. All right, what's up, Matthew?
About that one like history moment that reminds you of Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Once we were gone to state. It was actually my last year playing basketball. And apparently we won third place, but they didn't know it until later. It's like, how don't you know?
That's great. Does anybody else have something they want to share? PJ, what's up?
Well, that's like being a coach, an athlete's coach. When your team goes to a state or regionals, and then you see the reaction of your athletes, and just being there to see the way it is, and like the inner circle of me going from an athlete to a coach to an official is incredible of what have we done.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything you want to share? I see a hand up. Lisa, let me unmute you. Go ahead, Lisa.
Oh, hi, Don.
Hello.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
All right. Well, you know what? I think PJ, we're gonna leave you on here a little bit with us and have you share a couple things more too as we kind of work our way along here. All right, Jason, you want to get into the next topic?
Yeah, we have this one I'm curious on because I think Don and I have a little disagreement here. But our next topic is, who's the greatest NBA player of all time? Is it Michael Jordan or is it LeBron James? So You want me to go first, or do you want to go, Don?
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's tell everybody about the poll real quick, and then we'll brought my A game today, buddy.
Yeah, apparently. I stepped my game up.
So Jason and I are gonna talk a little bit about what we think, but we created a poll for all of you to vote on who is the greatest basketball player of all time. You only get two choices, but it's going to be between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. So, all right. So Jason, why don't you go ahead and start with yours, and then we'll check in on the vote after that.
Well, so I think I have to go with the obvious one here. It has to be Michael Jordan. I don't know why we decided LeBron James is the other one. I would say Kobe Bryant would be second best if we're going to go off of this. So I'm sure you have some reasons to go against this, but Michael Jordan, criteria? So here's the thing. So Michael Jordan and LeBron James, they both have phenomenal numbers. LeBron James got a little bit of a head start, has a longer career going right now. Jordan went to college. And so if we're going to compare apples to apples, we got to go by per game stats. And so Michael Jordan, his career per game stats, he had 30.1 points a game compared to LeBron James at 27.7. If that even goes crazier when you talk about playoffs, and playoffs is where it matters. He averaged 33.5 points compared to LeBron James. He's at 28. So if you're asking me who I'd rather have on my team at any time, it'd be Michael Jordan. He can score. He also has more steals. He was a 9-time defensive player, all NBA defensive player. So he plays on both sides of the court. And I'll take you back a little bit here too. Michael Jordan played in an era where there were teams. It was players stayed put more often. They played against some teams that not only would come together for a year or two, but they'd play, multiple years together. You had guys, duos like Karl Malone and John Stockton, and you had Gary Payton and Sean Kemp that Jordan had to go through. You had an Eastern Conference that was really, really tough to get through. And LeBron James for his career, I know there was a great stretch that he had making the NBA Finals, but at the beginning of the season, everybody goes, who's LeBron going to play against in the finals? Or it's going to be LeBron versus Golden State. And that just shows you the strength of the rest of the league. You can he was able to coast his way through 3 rounds of the playoffs and have to try hard for the championship game. So there's that. I'll ask you a couple other things. So what's more, Don, 6 or 3?
Well, if you go by that criteria, then Bill Russell won 11, right? So he should be in the
sure.
You can't just go on that.
That's great. Bill Russell had who did Bill Russell have on his team?
Well, who was on LeBron's team, right? Michael Jordan had some of the top 50 players of all time, right? Michael Jordan left to go on a midlife crisis and play baseball. The team went to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. LeBron James left the Heat. They went 37-45. He left the Cavaliers. They went 19-63. He carried those teams. He made people better. Michael Jordan was all about himself. Score, 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 score. Hey, he was a great defender, but he could only defend one position. LeBron James can play 5 positions and defend 5 positions. He would shut down Jordan.
No, here's you got ahead of me here. Who had the better baseball career? Michael Jordan by far had a better baseball career than LeBron James did. So don't even get me started there. Also, let's talk about this. Michael Jordan, with a team of Daffy Duck and Bill Murray, beat a team of monster basketball players. I know LeBron James is going to try it later on.
They're remaking the movie.
What sequels are? Name one sequel that's better than the original. That's all I'm going to say.
You got a point there.
Plus, I'm going to say this too. I'll just throw this. I'll let you get to your LeBron stuff. But one thing LeBron James can never have.
You got it.
Yeah. Wow. Then that means you're clearly not prepared. But the one thing LeBron James can never have is he undefeated in the NBA championship? I believe that he's lost almost as many times as Jordan has won. So I think I'll just throw that out there. 6-0 in the NBA Finals, 6 championships, had a much better baseball career, and I'm sure his Space Jam movies can be much better.
I disagree. I think when you look at and believe me, I was not a LeBron person. In fact, where's my Up Yours LeBron doll that somebody made for me? Tyler and I went through some serious battles with Warrior. He was a big LeBron James person. It took me some coming around to look to see that at multiple levels, you know, we talk about who would be the greatest. I think that has to be included in terms of the greatest if they were playing for Special Olympics unified basketball, because LeBron James is all about teamwork, right? I mean, Jordan was the one that just kind of bullied people and said, hey, you know, we're going to win. And yeah, he had a mobster mentality and he wanted to go and win. That was the most important thing. You know, LeBron James, it comes more from the heart, getting all his other players involved and being way better passer than Jordan. And you know, you can look at the stats of how many points somebody scores, but I mean, the bottom line is who makes their team better around them. And that was undoubtedly LeBron James.
I would say Pippen doesn't win a championship without Jordan. Rodman needs to cast without Jordan. Luke Longley's definitely not winning a championship without Jordan. But I think a lot of the guys on their team, if they teamed up with two other superstars like LeBron does, would win some more games. So he gets some
Who'd
players,
you
he
rather
gets
play
some
with,
teammates.
Luke Longley or Delhi?
I think there's only one way to decide this, and it's to take a look at the poll.
There we go.
Well, the problem is, I don't know if people can see the poll. I've got it going here.
I saw the poll.
I did. I saw it.
Yeah, thumbs up.
When I
Well,
look, it says
hold
nobody
on. Before we get to the poll, what does PJ think?
Yeah,
PJ's
PJ.
still unmuted.
He's been quiet the whole time.
Hey, I gotta remember, back in the 90s, Michael Jordan was like my favorite player to watch in the NBA before I moved here to Milwaukee. I didn't know much. I only knew the Bulls when I was in North Carolina. So Michael Jordan is still my favorite. And yes, LeBron James can still pass and all that stuff. And he's a good, awesome player too. But what happens if you had both of them on the same team? You may never know. It could have been a really dominant team together with both of them.
Huh. Well, yeah, that could be. So tell you what, I'm going to bring in Tyler here, who was for a while there the most blathering LeBron James love fest person. Hey, Tyler, you going to defend LBJ here?
Well, first off, when I heard he went to LA, Mike's question about Cleveland is, yeah, he obviously hated Dan Gilbert for good, and I kind of feel his pain and knowing that he's just wants to go out and play for a young team, but LeBron James didn't even play good his first year in LA with Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, and Brandon Ingram. They were all injury prone. They were dead last in the league, and to trade a bunch of picks for Anthony Davis, and if the pandemic would have been canceled, I feel like LeBron would have taken Kawhi's throne off and would probably have beat them in the Game 7 series, where unfortunately, you know, the Warriors will be back next year if they're healthy, but that really depends on the draft, and that's even.
All right, you're going off topic, buddy. All right, I'm looking at the poll. Jason, can you see the results of the poll?
I can't.
You can?
No.
No.
All right, I don't see any results for the poll. It says nobody voted. Let me try this one more time.
Oh, I voted.
I voted.
I did too.
That's all new to us here.
Yeah, we're trying to figure this out. Share results.
There we go.
There it is. Oh, there it is. 75% Jordan.
Oh.
I've got a lot of friends.
All right. You win.
Oh,
wow.
All right. Well, do we want to move on to our first?
I think, let's see. John wants to say something here.
Sure.
John, what do you got for us?
He's thinking.
Did you want to talk, John? We can't hear. We can come back. Anybody else have a? I wish I could see everybody at one time.
Yeah.
No?
Well, that's a good problem to have.
All right. Anything in the chat room?
Nope. It looked like most people were on Jason's side. We got one Kobe fan though.
Oh yeah. You know what? He was a great player. That he could be mentioned a lot of times too in some of this stuff. So. All right. All right. Moving on. We're gonna do a quiz for everybody. All right. So we're gonna do this quiz, and it's called "Who Am I?" So we're gonna take turns, and then we have to figure out how we're gonna do it. So I guess what we'll do is Jason and I are gonna take turns reading something off about this person, and then in the chat room, you guys can all start guessing, and whoever guesses first will win a prize. It's not a big prize, but it'll be a little prize. When we get the show above 100, the prizes will get a little bit bigger. All right, so I'll go ahead and start here. Yeah, so see Brittany for the prize. I'm off next week.
I am too.
We'll figure it out.
Probably we'll figure out like a gift card or something like that. All right, so here we go. I'll say the first line. I led my high school team to a Division I state championship. And then they'll get easier as we go along.
All right, clue 2. I was my high school team's all-time leading scorer with 1,431 points.
We have one vote for Kobe so far.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, number 3. I once played in a national televised game with LeBron James.
Kyrie Irving.
All right. As a redshirt sophomore, I played in 31 games, averaged 9.9 points, 6 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and 0.8 blocks.
We got a vote for Sam Decker.
Sam Decker?
And then another one for Michael Jordan.
Nope.
Nope.
I
don't think they played in high school together.
All right, here's the next one. I was once a member of the Denver Nuggets. That's a kind of a trick one. We can explain some of these afterwards.
Chris, it looks like you're raising your hand. Why don't you type your guess in the comments?
We'll let Chris say something.
Chris, you want to unmute
Chris,
him?
you want to say something?
Yes. I said, Amy. Given. Yeah.
Nope. Wrong answer.
What is it? Come on, no
Right.
All right.
All right, let's keep narrowing it down here. I was a member of the 2007-2008 Big Ten championship team.
All right, that should clue in some people. Oh, come on.
We have some hands. So you want to type them into the chat here?
Yeah, are you not able? All right, who's got their hands up?
Wendy Hirsch is the name. I'm not sure who's on the video.
All right, I got a quick text message that Zachary Reitz is trying to get into the meeting. Tyler, did you get the? If anybody got the meeting request and knows Zach's email, can they just email that to him? Yeah, so maybe while we're in the middle of guessing, I'll tell everybody why this is a little bit more complicated, because we want to make sure that we get only people that should be in our meetings, which is why we kind of have to have a password and kind of protect everybody a little bit. So that's why, and then I kind of stopped checking about 15 minutes before this started about people that were responding to get in. So we'll maybe need to work on some of this for next time, but because we want to make sure everybody's there. All right, we have a vote. Carmelo Anthony. No, that is not correct. All right, Sophia, do you have a question?
Or an answer?
Or an answer?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Thought you had your hand up.
All right, should we go on the next clue?
Okay, next clue.
Yeah, I got it. So I was a member of the men's UW basketball team.
Sam Decker?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Damn.
All right. We're getting down here. El Versa. No, don't know who that is. All right, next one is I once coached a professional G League team.
No one knows that.
All right, Jason.
All right, I'm
better get it on this
I'm currently
one.
Yeah, we'll see. Otherwise, we'll have to keep going, figure it out. I'm currently an analyst on the Big Ten Network.
Not Shaquille
O'Neal. I like that answer though.
Mike Kelly. No, good answer, but not there. Think of any more? Wade. No. So let's go. The next one is. All right, so remember they played on the Badger basketball team. Michael Strahan, no, they played on the UW Badger basketball team, and we got a winner!
Yay!
Looks like
it's Michael.
Michael barely beat out Sam by second.
Sam.
Michael is our winner. All right, Michael, you're unmuted. How's it feel to be the first ever quiz winner on the SOWI Sportscast Live?
Feel great. You feel great.
Wow. Nice one, Michael.
Thank you. I miss
you. What was the giveaway, Michael?
Play for Wisconsin.
Play for Wisconsin because reason why? Because he does 1 year he did play against UWM, so some play against UW Milwaukee Panthers. That's how I know about that.
Okay. Very good. All right, next topic. Jason and I are going to discuss the either very well loved or the very well hated designator hitter rule in baseball.
DH.
So I guess I'll start on this one since you got to start last time. So and actually when you look at this, it does come down to if your favorite team's in the National League or the American League for the most part. And so although you do have some of these weird teams that have switched and played in both. Which is Milwaukee. Milwaukee used to be in the American League a while back. But I think that the worst thing that I can actually watch when watching a baseball game is watching a pitcher hit. It is just it's ugly. And yeah, you can always find one or two that can bat pretty well, but for the most part, it's just ugly. And you look at the game of baseball, it's a pretty slow sport already. And then you add in this pitcher that can't, hit anything, is whipping that balls, 5 feet out of the strike zone. It's a mess. So my thing is they should expand it to the National League. They should expand it to the playoffs. They should expand it to the World Series. They should expand it. Have it all.
All right. So can we at least agree on this before I get on my side here? No matter which way we go with this, it should be the same across the board. So it should be whatever we decide, it should be in the American League. It should be in the National League, because at this point, depending on who's the home team, gets a much bigger home field advantage whenever the opposing league comes to their building, and that happens during it could happen 4 times for 4 games in the playoffs that you'd be playing something outside yourself. But
so
I don't understand why
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
as long as my side wins and we have it expanded.
Well, I just don't understand what you hate against traditional baseball here. So are pitchers not paid lots of money like the rest of the players? Are we supposed?
They're paid to pitch.
They're paid to play baseball, and so part of baseball is both fielding and batting, and so that just comes out part of it. Also, you talk about the designated hitter, if you don't have a designated hitter, it's only pitchers batting. Part of not having a designated hitter is there's so much game strategy that goes into when do you put in a pinch hitter. You get more guys involved by having a pitcher in your batting order. You get do fun strategy like the double switch. There's a lot of more of a concept to a baseball game rather than just saying let's roll out this lineup and let them bat 1 through 9. So I think there's that part of it. And also when you put a designated hitter in there, you add somebody in who's trying to hit home runs, and you're taking away the idea of people putting down a bunt or playing some small ball, which is part of baseball. It's always been part of baseball. So, and also I don't know why you just dislike what the Brewers are doing. I mean, I feel like that is just rude of you right now.
The Brewers. All right. So we have the extra batter rule in Special Olympics. Should we eliminate that?
Well, hey, you know what? I actually like that better than a designated hitter because at least you give them the option for if a pitcher wants to hit and they can hit, why not give them a shot at it? Why specialize just one position when you can do it? You can have somebody else who maybe just is better defensively and then let somebody else bat. Why not? That sounds like a great option.
What's next? You're going to eliminate the pinch runner?
You know, I don't know why you're just throwing these out here. We're talking about who's batting right now. I don't know who's on the base path.
All right. Who's anybody in the chat room got any comments? Michael, what do you think?
I like designated hitters in the American League. Us UW Milwaukee, we do that way too at college baseball. We do the DAs too, like Major League Baseball. When I do UW baseball home games, I like DAs much better because it's so easy.
Yeah.
Well, but in college, there's some leagues that let pitchers hit, and there's some really good hitting pitchers out there.
Yes, there are. There are good pitchers that can hit.
And plus, if anybody's ever watched Bartolo Colon hit, that was just entertainment.
PJ, name a good pitcher that can hit.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot.
My point proven. All right. Anybody else have any comments they want to make? Any comments from the peanut gallery? Zachary, you have a comment?
Yeah. So Ron won the poll. I just started the meeting, so I don't know.
Oh, we all agreed that LeBron is the best.
No, we did not.
All right. All right, so I guess we're done with that one.
We ended in a tie.
That's right. That was a tie. Oh, we didn't have a poll. Dang it. Where's the poll? Let's let everybody vote for the poll real quick.
Are you gonna put it up there? Oh, there we go. I like when people agree with me.
Let's see. I gotta figure this out. Let's find poll number 2. Oh, here we go. Launch poll.
There it is.
All right. Let's see what everybody votes on.
Yeah.
Do that, and then with this,
We'll let it go for about a minute. You know what's weird though with this? I don't know why, but I could not see the results, even though I'm the one that set up the poll. Like when you guys all saw the results, that's why I don't believe them, because I can't see them.
Oh, we'll tell you the answers. Don't worry.
But I think that's weird though, that okay, everybody get their decision in. We're at 41 seconds. We'll give you the 60 seconds. 15 more seconds.
Well, it looks like Matthew in the comments agrees with you.
That's right. Matthew's my bud. We go back long ways. All right, 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. End poll. And the results
Let's see.
are
Oh,
64%.
64%.
I won. That one.
that was not a tie.
They
Oh man.
it was close to the last one.
Hey Brian, you like that one?
Yes.
You agree
I
with me?
gotta go. I
Yeah.
gotta eat lunch.
You got to eat. Wait, you're leaving us to go have lunch?
Yeah, my dad wants me off, I guess.
Oh man, what are you gonna have?
I don't know. Whatever he's making.
Oh,
So I'll
well,
catch you guys
Good
later.
answer.
all right. Take care, Zach.
Yep.
All right, so we're getting close to the end of the show here, but we do have one more chance to win a prize. This segment is called Stump the Host. So you guys get a chance to ask a question for me and Jason, and if you stump us both, then you win. So anybody?
This may not be that hard.
Oh, okay. Becky had her hand up. Becky, all right, you're on, Becky.
No. Kira, do you want to ask it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, honey. Who hit the winning?
Who hit the winning shot
in the NCAA March
In-
Madness tournament
in the NCAA March Madness tournament
in 1998?
in 1998
To send the team to
Ooh.
to send the team to the final 16?
their first ever
The
Sweet
first-
16.
The first ever Sweet 16.
Ooh. 1998. They're still in
All right.
college. All right, how about you give us a hint? Give us a hint of the teams that played.
The teams that played. So it was Valpo against someone.
Valpo against someone?
All right, so we're looking for a Valpo player is what I'm gathering from this. Oh man.
Oh. I think she stumped us.
That's where my
I can't even
That's
think
where
of
my
a
mom
player
went
from
to
that
school.
team. What?
That's where my mom went to school.
That's where your mom went to school? Was it your mom?
No.
Oh.
No, my mom didn't play. Like, she went
my
to.
mom's friend.
What? It was my mom's friend?
Really?
Really?
Do we know him?
You'd recognize the name.
You recognize the name?
Okay, what's the name?
Bryce Drew. Bryce.
Bryce Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Who is now the coaching what team?
Valpo.
Valpo.
Alpo, and his brother coaches
Okay.
for
Baylor.
Baylor. That's right. Good job. All right, Becky, you are the winner. So we'll get in touch with you and Michael
And
after
his,
the show.
and his dad, what?
His dad was
And his dad was amazing?
and coach.
All right, I'll tell you what. You win the first one. You win the prize, but it looks like some other people want to still try to stump us here. Mike Prebick, what's up?
well, they're 1 for 1. Go ahead.
Michael, we can't hear you.
What the?
I have you unmuted, so it must be on your side.
You want to try typing it in the box, Mike?
Sorry, Michael. We can't hear you. You can try typing?
He's typing.
Okay.
Don, I knew I should have studied
Oh.
Valpo.
Yeah, I know. Who has the most career wins in NASCAR? Richard Petty?
Jimmy Johnson.
Does anybody know that one? Danica Patrick.
Ah.
Oh, no. Oh, it was Richard Petty.
Oh.
I won.
Yeah!
That's right.
All right, Mike, you owe me a prize. Just kidding.
We both got thrown off with the Danica Patrick answer there.
That's right. I know. She's a very good driver too. So, all right. Well, I was always taught to leave them wanting more. So I think we're gonna end this show. But Brittany, you want to give a little bit of a heads up for what's coming up at 3?
Sure. If you aren't already, you should be members of our Facebook group. It's called SOWI Fitness at Home. I'm going to be going live at 3 o'clock with a fun recipe and some other fun health tips while we're all home during this stay-at-home time. So you don't need to log in. You don't need to log in like this one. All you have to do is just go to Facebook and go on the group, and the video will start at 3 o'clock.
Very good. Well, I want to thank you.
And then we'll be back
time today and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We'll be back next week. It's going to be myself, and we'll have another co-host as Don's off next week. But we will definitely get the information out like we did today on Facebook and through the email links. And so hopefully we'll see you come back next week, and we'll come up with some more topics and have some more fun.
Very good. All right, everybody, take care.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Hmm.
You want to stop recording, Don?